My sojourn began with a litany of missteps that led to a faceplant.
For a divorced woman living with her parents in Lake Como, New Jersey, the life of her dreams seems far away.
I created a dream board with pictures and images of all I long for. It's in the shape of the country of Italy, which should tell you something about my heart's desire.
An unexpected tragedy leads to a reckoning between family and self-determination.
It's about her taking her talent and finding her place in the world and putting a flag on where she should be.
Author Adriana Trigiani creates a story of heart, humor, and love.
I am falling in love with Mia Dolce Vita. It's more than a new start on days like these. It's an Italian do-over.
The book is The View from Lake Como, and it's Club Calvi's Reader's Choice. Hello, welcome to our September meetup. While fall may be closing in, we just finished the perfect book for summer. We've spent the last several weeks reading The View from Lake Como by Adriana Trigiani. We're going to talk with her about her inspiration for the book, her research, and her successful career as a writer. We got together with some of our readers to talk about the book. They'd been lighting up our Facebook page with comments about the story, so it was great to hear from them. And book club producer Danielle Parker will share some of their questions and comments. Hi, Danielle.
Hi, Mary. You know, readers have been excited about The View from Lake Como ever since it was voted as the Reader's Choice. Why? Because Adriana Trigiani is known for writing characters who seem real. They have flaws and quirks, and they have humor. This book is about an Italian-American woman, but readers across the board say her issues, dealing with divorce, her family's expectations, and a second chance at love, also spoke to them.
I'm from a Jewish family, and so many of the aspects were so similar. You know, the food and the family.
My parents had a house in Lake Como, New Jersey for 40 years. I used to walk around this lake that she described. So you really just put you right there.
The people-pleasing aspect for her relationship with her mother was familiar, and then to see her come into her own.
You need to sometimes leave your family and not talk to toxic people, even if they are your parents.
When she gets into Italy and she starts to move around, more and more stories that open up.
It was just such a pleasure to read.
Mm-hmm.
So I would definitely want to read more of her stuff.
And we agree because we are big fans, and we can't wait to dive in and spend this time with Adriana and Mary.
Well, you know, Danielle, she has been called one of the reigning queens of women's fiction and a comedy writer with a heart of gold. Adriana Trigiani tells me she loves this city, and we met her in a place that loves her right back. I love this place. I think everybody loves this place.
Everybody loves it. And here they are! I'm so happy to see you.
At Patsy's Italian restaurant, the owners always make you feel like family. Authentic Italian cuisine in the heart of the theater district with recipes passed down for generations. It's no wonder it's been around since 1944. You spent a lot of time in this restaurant.
I love Patsy's, and I love this family and the beautiful history of it, and of course the mirrors. It's like Versailles in here.
Always getting a laugh out of us, whether as a playwright, as a host of her podcast, You Are What You Read, or as a New York Times best-selling author of 20 books, including the Big Stone Gap series, The Good Left Undone, and her latest, the one Club Calvi readers selected as the Reader's Choice, The View from Lake Como.
I have held a passport since I was 18 years old, but have yet to use it. It is just one empty page after another of pristine Navy jacquard without a single stamp to anywhere.
Oh, Sal, it looks beautiful.
They got some good stuff.
Oh my gosh.
The Italians say buon appetito.
Bon appetito. Oh my gosh, these are gorgeous.
Wow. So what do we have here, Sal?
No calories.
No.
A cannoli cake, Napoleon.
Oh my God.
Chocolate mousse.
Enjoying dessert with Adriana Trigiani felt like being around a longtime friend, being I've read almost everything she's written. You really do such a beautiful job at including our favorite foods in the book. In fact,
I live for that. Are you kidding?
Giuseppena's family was making fresh pasta, right?
That's right.
You know your people by their gravy. The hearty pot simmers, filled with delicate hand-rolled meatballs, braised pork ribs, crispy chicken thighs, and spicy Italian sausage that poach and thicken the sauce.
Which we've done in my house, make the fresh pasta, the fettuccine, and it's delicious, right? I can just
you
taste
remember that smell in the house too?
Oh, I Sunday
that
morning.
Scent, yes, of the long linguine drying.
Not only do we talk food, but also writing and how she brings all of the ingredients of a great story together.
It's like what they do in the kitchen here at Patsy's. There's ingredients and suddenly it's something. So you take all the parts that you can and you make a meatball out of it the best way you can. That will hopefully be delicious and everybody wants to consume it.
So if you were to tell the story of your life, give me an idea of where you would start.
I would probably start my story with the way I looked at my mother. I'm one of 7, and there are pictures of us in groups, right? But I'm always looking at her. From the time I'm quite small, I can't believe she's my mother, and today happens to be her birthday.
It's beautiful.
She's in heaven. And so my connection to my mother shapes everything for me.
Growing up in a big Italian family in the mountains of Virginia is when she first found her voice, not on the stage, but behind the storytelling. And that continued as she studied playwriting at the University of Notre Dame before she moved to New York City.
The place that I love, New York City. Don't anybody talk smack about this city. I love this city. I love its problems. I love its challenges, and I love the way we problem solve, and I love the way this city runs. And this city has never failed me.
What an incredible career you've had as a writer for television.
Been very lucky, Mary. Very, very lucky. Very.
To say you're a success is an understatement, but I'm wondering how you feel about that term. Do you feel like you've reached success?
Success is really determined by how well you handle failure. And to fail is not that everything falls apart and it's over. It means you need to address it and fix it and improve. And I will say, growing up in a big Italian family, really, nobody's ever lobbed more criticism at me in the outside world than they did inside the 4 walls of my home. So it doesn't really affect me.
Exactly.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, I'll consider it.
It's what we went through growing up.
That's right. It's not going to get worse.
No, you can say anything you want. I got it.
No.
It's like oil and water. It's fine. Adriana Trigiani, thank you so much for being with us.
Club Calvi is a work of art. Danielle Park, you're amazing. Amazing. To see this is just to see the readers respond. This is why we do this, why we create a book in the first place. It's beautiful. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
I feel so honored to talk to you after spending so much time with your writing, and just to be able to be with you in person is really special.
Thank you.
Especially this year, 25 years as a novelist, right?
Yeah.
How does that feel? We've been turning the pages and reading your words for 25 years.
It seems a little surreal sometimes. But when you're a writer, you're always thinking about the next story once you finish one. But there's something about The View from Lake Como. It has stuck with me and clearly with the readers. And I think it might be, Mary, we are feeling like our lives are a little out of control. And if you're a parent or you're not a parent, the aunt brigade is a big deal in my family. It's like it's a whole thing where they're really surrogate moms. And I think we see our roles sort of over time becoming more essential to the survival of the family. And that's what we're all into, is shoring up that family.
Your family is so incredible. I really enjoyed going through and seeing those beautiful pictures so close. You have a lot of siblings.
There's 7 of us, 5 girls, 2 boys. And I think I toured with my brothers. My brother Michael is a singer-songwriter, so we incorporated music into the show, which is basically a stand-up show about them, my family. And my brother Michael said, okay, I'll do it if Carla will be will be the tour manager. And Michael put his band together, and it was really fun. And then my sisters along the way did events. They're an army.
I
They're an
just
army.
adore the fact that you want them near you all of the time.
I do. Now, listen, this isn't to say we don't fight like animals. We do. We're big fighters. We're big grudge holders. But the thing about my family, my brothers and sisters, is we push through it. We get to the other side. And sometimes it takes a long time, but we do. I mean, I'm not going to... This isn't like, what family? What's the perfect family, Danielle? I don't know. But, you know, it's not a storybook family. It's a very real family coping with stuff.
And isn't that... Your writing is real families, real people, everyday struggles. In this book in particular, she's, you know, with her parents. She's living in the basement. She's just recently divorced. She's trying to figure out her sense of self and where her journey is going
she's
to
depressed
take her.
Because she's down in the basement. Someone, a reader wrote to me and said, why couldn't she go back up in her old room? I wrote her back and I said, that's worse. It's worse to go back in your old room and you're up there with your dolls. What is this? It's almost, you know.
All the high school yearbook stuff.
Yeah,
exactly.
Terrible.
But thank you for giving us Giuseppina Cava di Montebarata. It was like Italian. She was just perfect and wonderful, and we were just rooting for her throughout.
It makes me so happy, Mary, that you and Danielle even nominated it and that it was chosen. It means the world to me because I think the work you're doing, look, we're all in this together, and we have to stay close. What are we doing for the reader today? I know that's the first thing on your mind when you do Club Calvi. And it's my first question in the morning when I sit down to write. What am I doing for her, for him? What am I doing? And I wish across all spectrums of life that the first question in the morning is, what am I going to do for somebody else today?
Yeah, well, you did it for us with this book for sure.
Thank you.
Let's go to Danielle. And she has some of the questions and comments from readers.
We do, and it's meant so much to the readers to read this book because even though the book takes us to Lake Como, New Jersey, and then to Italy, it's those characters that kept us turning the pages. We cared so much about what happened to them that some readers cried at parts of the book. The characters seemed so real that book club member readers Mindy and Joni had questions that you could say were two sides of the same coin.
I just was curious how much of the characters was based on real life people that she knows or is related to.
I was just curious if any of the characters are based on her own personality or any of her own traits that she's putting forth in one of the characters.
Well, Joni and Mary, they're all real. And if it's a prickly family member, I change the hair color, or I change the name enough that they don't think it's them. I do little twists. But the truth is, when writing family, if the closer you can get to the bone, the truth, what actually happened, is the better the scene plays.
Oh, and you really get us there, too. I mean, we're really going deep, especially later on in the book, and we meet Moro. What? That was quite the twist. So are you, as you're going along with your family or people in your world, are you writing down characteristics and saying, hey, they may make a great character for another book? I mean, how does that...
I do that, Mary. I mean, I've had notebooks. You know, I wrote a novel called The Shoemaker's Wife about my grandparents' love affair. And when my grandmother, Lucia, was very old, Lucia Bonicelli of Chisholm, Minnesota, first, you know, an immigrant, by the way, college-educated, 3 children, you know, immigrant was a word of honor in my home. It still is. And she was an amazing person. And so when I would go and visit her, what are you going to do? You know, she can't walk, you know. I wrote everything down. So I have research and notebooks and collections of conversations and points of view of really everybody. Everybody. I mean, COVID was great for Cousin Ralph. I mean, I got his whole story. We had nothing else to do. So I said, let's start on day 1 of your birth. And we spent a year.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I love it. I love it. And you know, my friends will say to me, why are you so fascinated by these people? I don't. I felt like I was in a, I don't even know how to, I was inside a story from the day I was born. Yeah. That was always obviously real to me. But I also thought it was very glamorous and very show busy, even though we're working class people and most of my relatives worked for the International Ladies Garment Workers Union, and I am completely a product and a blue-collar person because of
My
them.
mom worked for the garment union,
See?
too. Yeah, we have a lot in common when we talk about the big Italian family. It's such a joy to read it, and I love so many of the terminologies that I heard growing up as well.
By the way, Mary, I bet that salary of your mother working in the mills helped you go to college.
Oh, you know it, yeah.
And that's, all 7 of us are college educated because my parents put that first. My mother didn't get a new purse, or my father didn't have new shoes. I mean, they put it all in us. So for us to coalesce and come together, is an important thing for them.
Well,
in their honor.
It is, because their whole purpose, their whole dream was to make it a better life for their children. And in your case, you've done it.
Oh.
Tell me, what was it like to be able to go to Italy and do the research? Well, first, I'm wondering if you feel the same way that I do, but when I go to Italy, I don't know what it is, but I just feel like I'm home.
Me too.
You do? Okay. It's
too.
just quite incredible, and it doesn't really matter what part of Italy.
No, it doesn't, right? Because you're with Italians and you go, oh, she looks like me. It's such a relief in a certain way, although you could walk through Brooklyn and we see people that look like us. But over there, you have a sense of history. You know, people always say, why Italy? Why does everybody love Italy? Because every country has a footprint in that country. Every single one, from Africa to Asia, to the Baltic states, to all over the world, have been through there and have had an influence on that culture. And you can see, like, the borders seep with that. And so when you get in there, then it's the ideology. You know, la tavola, the table, gather at the table for food that nourishes you and sustains you. That, by the way, isn't filled with junk. You go to Italy, you eat spaghetti, you don't get fat. I mean, it's unbelievable.
I'm having gelato and pasta every day and losing weight.
And you're like, I'm going to gain weight. And you come home and your pants are loose and you're going, what happened? It has to do, too, with the slow, all that beautiful, slow cooking and then walking after meals. Now there's studies about it. La passeggiata. The minute you eat, you walk.
And the conversation, and we're going to have more of it coming up. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Okay.
We are back with the Adriana Trigiani talking about her book, The View from Lake Como. As for Giuseppina, I mean, we adored seeing her in Lake Como, New Jersey. I love New Jersey, but boy, when we met her in Lake Como, Italy, that must have been such an experience for you to be able to take your research there and also knowing what she was doing for a living. So tell me about that experience.
My people, because people ask me this, are from that region, the Lombardy region, my mother's side, the Bonicellis and the Spada family. Bergamo, Vilmanora, Scilpario, and Lake Como is just a short drive from there, from Bergamo. I mean, I don't know, half hour or something. And so whenever I went there, I went to Lake Como. And I started to fall in love with it, and I started to fall in love with the history of it. And anytime I go to Italy, Mary, I go there. I don't know, for me, it's like a baptism. I feel like Lake Como's got it. And it's probably because it's remote. It's also enchanted. There's the myth of the Hannibal's army coming over the mountains and the Queen Catherine being kept there, you know. All of that, fascinating to me. But when you're there, you are immersed in a culture that is of itself. The lake is navy blue. You kind of know, you learn the restaurants and the people kind of very simply right away, and the back roads to it. So I knew it was a part of this. But when Lake Como, New Jersey, which was formerly South Belmar, became Lake Como, I said, well, that's a historical backdrop, because every novel needs one. You need something. Well, when's it happening, and why is it happening, and how do we relate to it now? So it just matched up. And then the Carrara aspect of the marble was over time, I fell in love with the marble industry and how it's done. And there was a man on the mountain that said something to me that he said, you'll be gone, your children's children will be gone, the earth will be gone, but this marble will remain.
Back to the readers. They have a couple more questions for you.
Love 'em.
Danielle.
There's a lot going on in this book. So there's Lake Como, New Jersey, and the cast of characters there. Then there's Italy, and new people are introduced there. Then they sort of merge. But the part of the magic is that makes this book so great is that Adriana makes it so seamless. So that brings us to this question from Dushka.
I wanted to ask whether she had an idea when she starts a novel about the beginning, the middle, and the end. Does she put an outline together? And if she does the final creation differ a lot from the outline she started with? Thank you.
Great question. What is her name again, Danielle?
Dushka.
Dushka, what a fabulous name. I think that'll be in one of my future novels. I love it. Well, I'm a 7-day-a-week writer, and I share that with a lot of novelists. Many of us are. And what that means is I have at some point in each day I am coping or dealing with how I'm going to tell a story. So the first thing I do is set up my sacred space, which is my desk, my office, and I choose a candle scent that's going to be that book.
How about that?
And then when I'm working, I burn it. So with this one, it was balsams, fir, and cedar because of that lake and the foliage around it. Okay, so that was number one. Then when I outline, I have the characters. I think about the characters a very long time. And in this novel, Uncle Louis he was really the engine. And once I heard him, and he's based loosely on a conglomeration of my uncles, I started going, oh, okay, now I got him. And Giuseppina walked in, really, into the scene. And for a very long time, I do outline, Dushka. I outline. But it's just a loose guide. Because I want my subconscious to take over and to let my imagination soar. And I sleep on things. I use my subconscious for that. And then I just I map out the scenes. So if you're working on a novel, I say live in the world of that character and tell me where you are and what is she doing.
We have another question from the readers, so
Great.
let's get to it. Danielle.
We do. In fact, Mary and Adriana, our next comment really comes from a woman who is a book lover, a bookseller, and a friend to Adriana and Club Calvi. Kate, yes, Kate is the manager and event coordinator of Thunder Road Books in Spring Lake, New Jersey. She, in fact, made her first appearance on our very first book club meetup more than 2 years ago. So she's a big fan of Adriana and this book.
Hi friends, Kate here from Thunder Road Books. I would recommend The View from Lake Como by Adriana Trigiani because it has everything that you would want in a perfect book club pick. It has New Jersey, it starts in Lake Como, it has family legacy, incredible characters, and of course, we head over to Lake Como, Italy. I highly recommend it. It's actually our book club pick this month too, so kudos to the whole CVS book club crew. We loved The View from Lake Como.
And we love Kate,
Oh
too.
my God, we love Kate. Kate sold out 2 theater nights.
I was going to ask you about that. It was quite
And we had
incredible.
to add in a signing at her bookstore, Thunder Road Books. And she is, I told her, I said, I've been around a while. You're the best I've seen. She's really connects books to readers in that way. See, everybody's got a role in this, and if we work together, it's fantastic,
It certainly
right?
is.
But she's fantastic.
You have been to so many cities for this book. It's been such a success. You know what I wanted to ask you? Something very simple is when you start your day, how simple approach do you take? You know, I've talked to so many different authors about that very beginning. You open your eyes, and before you get to writing, what do you do? A couple of the authors said, you know, I don't want to see the news. I don't want to read the paper. I don't want to look at my phone. I just want to get to it to have a clear mind. Tell me about your day.
I think that's a way to approach it. The first thing I try to do is thank God for another day on this earth. That's the first thing I do. Because I figure if he's got my back, maybe it's going to be a good day, okay? If he doesn't, we got problems. So that's the first thing I do. And when I get up, my feet hit the floor, I think I gotta make that cup of coffee. That's my first thing. So I go down, and I really kind of have a meditation happens when I have my coffee, and I look out the window in Greenwich Village, and I just center myself. I have always like a big pile of loose leaf paper and my Flair pens, and I start making notes. And those notes I just carry down to work. I work at the bottom of the house, and I carry it down there, and then the day begins.
I love it. What a start. And it has been such a pleasure to finish The View from Lake Como because I really needed that end. I really wanted the best for her, and I was glad to see that she finally finds a home. Club Calvi is getting ready for some fall reading in 2025. Exciting. We're going to have more on that coming up, and we're going to talk to Adriana about what's coming next. We want some hints.
Okay.
Adriana, we have one last question from our book club members. Let's head over to Danielle.
That's right, Mary and Adriana, the final question is about a difference that happens when the book moves from New Jersey to Italy. Joe says he noticed the shift.
How much time did she spend in Italy, if any, to kind of counterbalance the difference between Italian Americans and Italians? Because I thought it was knowing a lot of Italian Americans and growing up in a predominantly Italian American community. I met every single one of her characters in Jersey. But the Italian way of life was very different, and it was interesting how she counterbalanced that.
Yeah, it feels like we knew them all.
Well, Joe's question goes back to what we were talking about earlier, which is when we go to Italy, we feel our people. And in the Italian American community, this community has taken a lot of heat over time, and our grandparents and parents struggled. They did. And we're the beneficiaries of their excellent citizenship and their hard work, okay. But what Joe's talking about is this idea of going back to the start. Who are you? At the end of the day, who are you? What are you? Where do you want to be? Are you serving your life? And I think for us, when we go to Italy, we sort of see, oh, they got their priorities straight over here. They take a nap in the afternoon. They eat good food. What else is there?
We only have a few seconds left. I know you're working on things. I want to know if The View from Lake Como is going to be a movie, because I can't wait to line up.
Yes, we're doing the meetings right now. It's going to be a movie.
Adriana, I cannot wait. Congratulations, and I can't wait to read your next book. When's it coming out?
Well, I'd say probably 2027.
All right, can't wait. Adriana Trigiani, what a pleasure.
Thank
Just
you,
such a joy to be with you. Thank you so much.
Thank
and
you.
the book is called The View from Lake Como.